There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
You're listening to Destination University, a podcast for college-bound teens and the parents, mentors, and educators who support them. If that is you, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Today's episode is about one of my favorite students of all time. Emily is tale number 25 in my book. This girl had big dreams, and she made them known before entering freshman year. I loved her then, and I love her now. Now, spoiler alert, she didn't quite get her number one choice college, but wait till you hear her story. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Cynthia Colon, your host today, and TEDx speaker, college admissions strategist, and author of the book, Be Committed, Get Admitted. Welcome to Destination University. We help high school families successfully navigate the college admission process by helping students create an action plan, become interesting applicants, and write compelling essays that increase acceptance letters. As a former admission officer at Vassar College and an elite private school counselor in Los Angeles, I have coached, mentored, guided, and worked directly with over 10,000 students. I know what it takes to get admitted to top 100 colleges. As my gift to you, I'm revealing the exact admission process we used at Vassar. It's all in my guide, 4 questions admission officers ask when deciding who to admit or reject. You can get it at drcynthiacolon.com/admit. That's drcynthiacolon.com/admit. Okay. So in the guide, I shared these 4 questions that I would use in basically the 12 minutes that I reviewed an entire application. I give you the order that I read the application, what I was looking for, what I highlighted, and what notes I took on my extra, on my little notepad. If you've ever wondered what admission officers are looking for or how decisions are made, well, today's your lucky day. Go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit. All right, so let's get to today's episode. So this week in my earlier social media posts, I highlight, like earlier in the week in general, I highlight different tales from my book. So my book is Be Committed, Get Admitted. And there are 30 different tales, and it's broken up into 7 chapters. So it's typically on Tuesdays that we do our posts in English and also in Spanish, because the book is also in Spanish. So this week, the tale that we highlight is tale number 25. The tale is found on page 154 in the book. So if you have it, you can go to it. But it's called Big Plans, Big City is the name of the tale. Okay. So just as a warning, I'm going to go off script today. And so I share a lot of these few extra details that are probably not found in the book. But I also should say that this story is based on a true story, based on a real person, and the name has been changed just, for the sake of the book. However, this student has definitely been in my life, and it's been a minute since I've connected with her, but let's just say she was at my book signing, and she and I share a lot of respect for one another. Okay. That said, I'm going to just poke my head here. Oops. So you might know that I've been feeling under the weather, as you can hear it in my voice. And so I've done some recordings where I just didn't show my face because I just, I've been not feeling well. So if you're watching this on YouTube today, you see me. Hello. If you're just listening in the car or on your run or walk, I am on my way to feeling better. So no worries there. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to just really, I'm going to just share my screen so that you can see, for two reasons. I'll tell you in a second. So the book, Be Committed, Get Admitted, at the very end, in the last chapter, I kind of serve as like an homage to sort of all the students I've loved before, kind of thing. And so I highlight a student who's been waitlisted, maybe someone who didn't, like today, who didn't quite get her top but school, but still great things happen. A student who didn't choose college at all, a student who chose a college that she'd gotten into one of the major colleges across the country, and she made a different choice. She chose a religious institution that felt right for her. So anyway, and then I have, of course, someone who was admitted to an Ivy League, and what her journey on choosing. So I think I'm missing one or two, but anyway, this chapter 7 is really the culmination of the rest of the book. So this month I'm kind of highlighting these students because we're in April, and April is the month that students that are seniors who have gone through the process are now receiving their letters of admission, or maybe they were denied, etc. So it's one of those months that is, you really get it. You really understand for the first time, maybe, especially if maybe you are a parent of a sophomore or a parent of a junior, and you're thinking, wow, this is much more competitive than I thought it was. And you're right, it is. So anyway, today's theme is about finding joy in your second choice college. And I'm going to highlight Emily. That's not her name, so forgive me. I hope I don't slip. But anyway, okay, so let me, I have a couple of notes for myself just so I don't get off track too much. So let me do this. Okay. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about Emily and her mother. And, let me just say this. I will say that, I worked at, as you know, I worked at a private all-girls high school in Los Angeles, one of the top private all-girls schools. And you might think that most of the girls come in, before freshman year, or certainly, between freshman and sophomore year, to meet with the college counselor and make all these plans. That's not what happens. So it was odd, but not surprising, to have a family who had just been admitted to Marymount, and in the summer they wanted to come in and make an appointment with the college counselor, myself. So of course the answer is yes. Anyone who's being proactive, that's great. And Emily wasn't the first student to come in earlier than junior year, but she was certainly the first student to come in before her freshman year. So anyway, one day in the summer, we met, the three of us, and essentially, she said, here's my goal. I want to go to an Ivy League school. And I think in the book, I say the different schools, but I, to be honest with you, I'm not sure that I remember exactly which one was her first choice. But I know she wanted film. So anyway, I know she was sort of shooting for that. Okay. That being said, we backwards engineered what she would need to do to be academically eligible, to even think about applying to any of those schools. So usually that conversation goes something like this. Okay, let's look at all the APs that you would probably need to be enrolled in by the time you're a senior, and what your schedule is going to be this coming year as a freshman, and let's see if there's a match. And the easiest way for me to explain that to everyone listening is this. If you want to or need to get to AP Calculus by senior year, you cannot be enrolled in Algebra 1 in freshman year, because you won't make it. Because you go Algebra 1, excuse me, Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus. That's your 4 years. So you need to at least be enrolled in Geometry. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. I've got my water here. Don't you guys worry about me. Hang on one second. Okay. So in any case, they came in and we backwards engineered everything. Now, I don't mean we backwards engineered just her courses that she would need to take. We backwards engineered even her co-curriculars. Okay. And yeah, yes, I'm being totally honest with you. And so she had said to me, I want to be the student body president. Um, and I'm pretty sure that was her idea. I don't think it was my idea. She wanted to aim for that. So when someone says, okay, I want to do this, or I want to start this club, or I want to put on this big, huge concert, or whatever they want to do, I say, okay, what do we need to do the years before leading up to that? So we sort of made a co-curricular plan for her and some other things that she was going to have to do outside of just being involved in school. Okay. So we backwards engineered all of that. Now, fast forward, the book offers you, I have the book, sort of in front of me. The book offers you sort of the details of what she did on campus and stuff. But I will say she did end up becoming student body president. She did. She was well known and well liked among her peers. She was always positive and enthusiastic and all of that. So she did make all of her co-curricular goals. She met all of them and probably more, to be honest with you. And right around that time also, she was part of the class that was making some inroads in diversity issues on our campus and starting the diversity club and just getting things off the ground. So she was a huge advocate of that. And so she really shined in a lot of those areas. Okay, again, and also her film. Now, I should say this, being from LA at a private school, if you want to go into the entertainment industry, music or movies or TV, whatever, you might typically know somebody or someone in your family is in that industry, but that was not the case for Emily, for Emily. So she just forged her own way. Okay. Now, when it came to academics, she was not the top student. She fell just shy of her academic goals, if you will. And I mean, not by a lot. I'm telling you, sometimes the difference between someone getting in and someone not is, I mean, literally like an A minus. Now, I say that and I don't want to freak you out because it has to do with so much more than just the grades. But nevertheless, she didn't have a perfect transcript. Let's just say that. Okay. But she was pretty amazing nonetheless. Okay, so let's fast forward again. So the book will give you some more details and whatnot. But what I'm telling you sort of off script is that Emily made it a point to come into my office every year. So before freshman year, during freshman year, probably every semester. And then so on and so forth. She also created a relationship with me. I knew who she was even before she started school. So when I work with private clients, I actually also say, look, you're working with me, but like the person that matters almost more is the person at your school. You've got to make sure you go and meet with them and talk to them. And so they know that you're on top of it, what your goals are, all of those things. And anytime I had something that came in the mail or was like, oh, nominate for this or that, I would always think of Mallory. I just said her name. Gosh darn it. She's not going to mind. So I would always think of Emily. Lord, okay, it's fine. I promised you because she came to my book signing and she said that she was the inspiration for this tale. Okay. So I say all of this because she was very likable. She was positive. She formed relationships with her teachers, with all of the adults on campus. She formed relationships with her peers, with the younger students, which probably made for her, having a good, easy ride into becoming voted on for student body president. But it wasn't fake. It was really who she was. And that goes a long way. So that being said, she applied, I'm sort of cheating by looking at the book because University of Pennsylvania, Columbia, Cornell, I think they had what she was looking for in terms of her major and wanting to go into having a movie, entertainment career. Okay, so she did not get admitted to those top schools, but she was admitted to NYU, you guys. She was admitted to New York University, NYU, and she had to take her first year. I think she spent her first year, I want to say, in Italy. But nevertheless, they offered her a space at NYU. Okay. And if I'm pretty sure she did not get into like the NYU film school, but she got in. Now remember, her goal was the kind of career she wanted. And while she was a student, what she did was she applied to become an intern for CAA. CAA stands for, gosh, it's one of the big like agencies for the entertainment industry here in Los Angeles. Creative Arts Agency, CAA. It is extremely competitive, more competitive than it is to get into an Ivy League school or NYU for sure, to get one of these internships. She's like one of 5 that was selected. So in the midst of all of this, she got this internship and she went on and she worked for CAA after graduation, and she's worked on different movies. And I wish I could remember, because she's told me she worked on for one of the directors who has been nominated for an Oscar, and she worked on one of the I want to say it's Tyler Perry, but I could be wrong, one of the TV series that was several years ago on the network. So she's had a really great career. Okay, so let me take you back, because that's the end, right? You go, oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You're going to go to this school that was your second choice, but it's going to be lovely. It's going to turn out great. So I'm giving you the end of the story before I go back to what happened in April, when she got these letters of acceptance. And I think she was waitlisted places too. And she was denied places as well. She did not miss a beat. I get choked up thinking about how it might have felt for her, because she was so amazing and so lovely, and teachers raved about her. They really did love her. She went on the trip. I think she and her mom went, and I think they went to go look at NYU, and they might have gone to look at some other schools, but she came back and she brought me a little bear. I had in my office, I had this like shelf. It was like a bookshelf, but I had all these like stuffed bears, stuffed animals, but they're stuffed bears. And they all had different, college t-shirts on. So when I would go and visit, I would grab a little bear, or some of my students would bring me. And so she brought me something that was from NYU to put in the office. And I don't remember what she said, you guys, but she was just overjoyed. She was super happy. She was super excited. And she was going to make the most out of this experience. I mean, look, it's NYU. I mean, I might have been sad for her for a hot second, but quickly got over it, right? I mean, these are sort of first, world problems. So I don't feel badly, like in the way that I don't want to I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. But if you're a parent listening, you understand what it feels like if you've ever seen your child be rejected from anything, or have their heart broken in a relationship, or whatever, right? Didn't make the team, or didn't get the school play, the lead in the school play, or whatever. It feels awful. And in the college admission process, students and parents often feel like they have been working for this their entire life. And so this one decision in many ways carries so much weight, because it's like it in many ways makes students feel like, oh, this is like what they're putting all their sort of self-worth or self-esteem or self-confidence into this one decision. Now we know as adults that's just not this not true, but it doesn't take away that that's how it feels. So again, I'm telling you this story because I don't think she needed any of us adults to say, hey, it's going to be okay. I think she figured that out on her own. And that's a sign of a mature student for sure, which most teenagers are not, myself included when I was her age. But she quickly understood and got that, probably like I'm saying now, these are first world problems. My gosh, I got into NYU, one of the best, schools in the country, and I'm going to go spend my first year, in Italy. Like, what am I, why would I spend any tears on this? So as you are navigating through April, if you have a child, or you, if you're listening to this, I I have said, and I continue to say, I'm personally not a fan of the wait list. I'm personally not a fan. But every year I have students who are waitlisted and they want to pursue it, and I am happy to support that. I mean, I don't judge anybody for, I mean, it works sometimes. Um, but I just have ego. And I'm like, if someone waitlisted me, they didn't want me the first time, why would they want me now? I'm gonna move on. And I think that's just how Mallory felt. I said her name again. She was like, "Hey, you know what? I didn't, I shot for the moon. I landed on a star, and okay, let's go. Let's make this work." And she was all, about the purple and the white and then NYU and the New York. And she was going to, she just was going to determine to make it happen. So as I said, she's had a wonderful career. I sent her an email, a text today, because I was thinking, gosh, like I don't know what project she's working on, but I believe she's still in the entertainment industry. Last I checked, she, like I said, she was working for one of the directors who had an Oscar nomination several times, I think. Okay, so here is the truth. You're like, Dr. C, what is it? What's the point of this? A lot of things. Look, it's April. There's a lot of takeaways from this episode. You know, make a list. Create a balanced list of colleges that you're going to be happy with. Use the 30-40-30 rule. 30, no more than 30% should be your realistic and your realistic reach schools, then 40% your target and your 50-50 schools, 50-50 target schools, and then 30% likely and most likely. What she did was created a balanced list. She created a list of colleges that, even, I always say, like, look, even if you only get into this school, would you be happy? And she was fine. She was fine. She created a great list. So that is the key to success as well. And then, I don't know, number 3 takeaway is take your minute, be upset, cry your eyeballs out, do what you need to do, have a little temper tantrum if you need to, and then move on. Right? Easier said than done, I know, but sort of, and then move on. Because chances are you have some great options that other people would kill for. So move on, pick one, and then just go with it. Like, just go for it and just know you're going to have a great time. For me, in this story, the truth that I want to share with you is something I don't often say sort of out loud or in the public. And that is, that there's a saying, the flattery will get you everywhere. I'm just going to take a look at my notes here. But in college admissions, it is also about personality and likability. I can't tell you how many times I've heard an admission officer say, and myself included, like, you read a file and you go, I like, you can almost tell that student is just really likable. He is well respected, liked by adults and peers alike, and all of those things. You can tell in how they write. You can tell about how other people write about them in their letters of recommendation. You just know when a student is likable. And I'll say that to some of my private clients, and they probably don't understand, but not every teenager is likable, you guys. Newsflash. Yeah. Okay, I realize today is not full disclosure Friday, so I don't have to be completely honest, but I'm being honest today. Maybe because I'm feeling under the weather, but it's true. Not every teenager is likable. And so if you have that likability factor, you can carry the day in a lot of ways. And I'm sure that Emily, I know you know her real name by now. I'm sure that Emily treated, when she went to visit colleges, just like she treats the people that I would see her interact with at school, her peers or younger students. She created relationships. So I can just imagine her visiting a college and saying hi, walking in and saying hi, and introducing herself and befriending people, right? Like, that was just her way. So for what it's worth, so personable, relatable, likable, that will often make you memorable. It's a little note that I had, so I didn't lose my train of thought. It doesn't mean that you get what you want, obviously, because the student didn't get exactly what she wanted, but again, she got admitted to NYU, not bad, and Italy for her freshman year. Like, I'll take that any day. Hello, sign me up for that, right? In the end, her internship with CAA set her up for her career that she wanted, and she got it. So she didn't have to go to these top rated, Ivy League schools to get what she ultimately wanted. That's another good takeaway in this episode today, right? But I will say that I guarantee that one of the reasons that she got that internship that is more selective than getting admitted to one of those Ivy League schools back when she applied. Relationships, personal ability, likability, right? I'm sure when they interviewed her, you can't help but like her. So that goes a long way and will ultimately get you to what you totally want. Okay. All right. That will get, your personality and your personability and your likability, I think, will make you memorable and get you, maybe even earn you the job, right? In this case, it earned her the job. But at the end of the day, it's once you're there, you got to make it work. You got to put in your work ethic. And so then she was able to do what she needed to do in that summer internship. And then ultimately they hired her. So, okay. All right. My last few things, I would just say, a little note here to myself. Don't be afraid to put yourself in an application. Just go all in. If you're funny, be funny. If you're likable and you kind of have this like Rico Suave about you, like, just work your swagger, whatever it is, do it. I want you to think about a character on a TV show or a movie character that you love. You love them for a specific reason, some kind of personality trait or personality, maybe even a flaw that they have, and you just love it, right? So think about that for yourself and go with it and just keep shining. And in the end, you're gonna rock it, just like she did, just like Emily did. Emily. Oh Lord, Emily, if you're listening, sorry. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to Destination University. I'm Dr. Cynthia Colon, your happy success expert. If this episode in any way has helped you, fueled you, inspired you, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. You can subscribe to Destination University wherever you get your podcast. And while you're there, leave us a review, please. It sure does help a lot. You can give a thumbs up, write a review, and it helps other people like you and families like you find us. And if you haven't binge listened to our previous seasons, I would say definitely do it. If you know an 8th grader or a high school student, they need to really just dive in and sort of just absorb and listen to and get all of the strategies that they can for this process. So I recommend starting with episode 1 because I interviewed my mom, Lydia, and it's less about college admissions, but more about sort of this journey and what it means to be a parent and do the parenting thing with your child. And she's certainly inspirational. Okay, once again, if you found any value in today, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. I'll be sure to see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, wherever you are, may you have a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.